welcome to Teenage. My name is Jason Lano, and today we're talking about comedy. That's right. Our guest today, presently sitting with us, is Mr. Aaron Freeman. Hi. So, let's start off. We've all heard the old cliche that laughter is the best medicine. Is this true? Mr. Freeman, would you like to?
Well, what was his name? The guy, the Saturday Post guy.
Saturday Post?
Yeah, the guy. He was the guy who was ill, and he watched like comedy tapes all over. I mean, there is some anecdotal evidence that comedy is actually good for you.
Yeah, he went out and watched all his movies.
Yeah, in his hospital room, he brought out. What's the guy's name? I forget the guy's name. But anyway, and it was a fine TV movie starring Ed Asner. But yes, a comedy as a curative. I mean, I suppose everything that's distracting has a curative, some kind of curative power. You know, the Chinese say that you want to get rid of your headache and get tight shoes. So anything that distracts you can make your burdens a little easier to bear.
Do you guys all find this true?
I agree with it.
I was just dead sick, and I watched half-hour comedy on MTV almost every day, and it made me feel better.
Although, now I was the official comedian at the birth, at the first 17 hours of labor of a friend of mine. Like she was doing a natural birthing thing, and she just thought it would be fun to have me there to make her laugh. So I was there for 17 hours. She'd stop laughing after about 8. And then I get kind of progressively more annoying after that. She didn't really want to hear no more comedy after a while. So there are limits to the curative effects of comedy.
Yeah.
So then, all right. Now we have all decided that laughter, comedy, it's great for you.
Yes.
But what makes something funny here? I mean, how do you know that something is really funny or it's just plain
What
bizarre?
makes you laugh?
Right.
If it makes you laugh.
If it makes you
If it
laugh.
doesn't make you laugh, it's not funny, and if it just makes fun of the
And
world
things
around
you laugh at are the things that either it's easier for you to relate to in life, you know, personal experiences, or something like impersonations. I mean, people who impersonate celebrities, that makes me laugh.
And you know what's interesting about that is what makes you laugh about the impersonations is when you get it precisely right.
Exactly.
It is that recognition of truth. You know, that's exactly when you get that movement, you go, that's Reagan. Then that's what you laugh
Like
at.
when Joe Piscopo did Jerry Lewis and Saturday Night Live.
Right.
I thought it was Jerry Lewis.
Yeah,
I
and
swear to
that's
God.
just that truth.
A lot of times too, comedians don't have to get the voice exactly right, but if they have the movements, you notice a little.
The concept is called the essence of character.
Kind of like
you
we
get
just
that
filmed
essence. Yes.
With me, I think
You're on teenage.
With me, I think it depends more on the moment. I mean, where I am and what's going on around me, and then because when I find myself really nervous, then I try to make everything humorous about it.
I think
Like
if
at
you,
funerals, you can really get some good
I think what makes you laugh is going to make you laugh no matter what mood you're in.
I think you're
I
right.
mean, if I put on some kind of a show that I have on tape and I watch it one day, I'm going to laugh just as hard the next day.
You know, now Del Close, one of the directors at Second City, former directors, said that when you do it right, comedy is like rape, because you're forcing the audience to have this neurological, physiological response. It causes their diaphragms to contract, that they release endorphins. You force them to have this, and that's what the good, as you say, the good stuff makes you laugh. Like you can be in a bad mood, you can be nothing. It just forces you because it's so funny.
And sometimes there's a competition where you're going to say, I'm in a bad mood, nothing's going to cheer me up.
Exactly right.
I'm going to make you make me laugh.
Right.
You know, I dare you. Come on.
Yeah,
That's the kind of.
Different types of comedy, like explain David Letterman in comparison to Dana Carvey.
Well, see, I mean, like there's different extremes of comedy. There's like the people who make their careers on swearing, and graphic comedy, and then there's people who have never used a curse word in their lives, like Bill Cosby or something like that.
Red Skelton.
And Red Skelton,
It's so funny.
It's just the different types of comedy, and I think everyone can find humor in a lot of different types because, like Bill Cosby, for example, like we said, he a lot of his, when he does stand-up routines, a lot of it's telling stories about his childhood and stuff. It's just all in his delivery. It's so funny.
To be the most intellectually impressive thing I know about this was a guy named Louis Cronenberg said that the difference between comedy and tragedy is not so much the difference between happy and sad endings, but that comedy is a way of looking at life that makes happy endings seem inevitable. So it's, because it's okay if you slip on a banana peel and fall, as long as you'll get up. If you fall and hurt yourself, then that's not funny. But as long as you know he's going to get up and it's just his dignity was wounded.
It's that positive attitude.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you figure that in the end it's going to be okay, then all kinds of mean and terrible things are funny now.
Slapstick, like the Three Stooges.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah. As long as you know his eyes aren't really poked out.
Like in violent movies, Schwarzenegger will like stick someone on the wall and go, stick around.
Yeah, right.
This man is bleeding. His organs are coming out, but everyone in the audience is laughing at this.
That's right.
Now, obviously, you're a comedian and humorist. Obviously, we want to make a majority of the people that you're performing to laugh.
Yes.
So what type of inspiration do you get? I mean, when you're writing your material, when you're getting your material together, what do you keep in mind? Do you keep your audience in mind? Do you keep what you personally find funny, or?
Yes, I mean, I suppose, now my co-star, I think Rob Colson, pays much more attention and is much more concerned with pleasing the audience. I tend not to be. I mean, I tend to kind of like, I throw out there what I want, and the stuff that stick, and stuff that they like, I'll do that again. But I don't. I just don't. I have no idea how to please anybody but me. And somebody said quality can only be deduced from quantity. So you just put out if you put out enough stuff into the world, you create enough material.
Somebody's gonna
Yeah. I mean,
Kind of brainstorming with the entire audience.
Yeah. I always do stuff that I think is worth doing. But you can never prejudge. For example, in Do the White Thing, we improvise a song every night, a new song every night, and we'll take a suggestion. We ask for a suggestion of like any topic for what people suggest whatever's in the news usually, or whatever's or baloney, and sometimes I will think when you hear the suggestion. Like one time, I'll never forget, we had a suggestion of, what's his face, the guy, Jeffrey Dahmer. And this is about a week afterwards. And you think, this is going to be horrible. How can you do anything funny about this? I forget what it was. Oh, I remember. It was when we ended up doing a song about the Milwaukee Police Department. And, and like what schmucks they are. And it turned out to be very funny. But when you first hear to think about, okay, let's do a funny song about a mass murder, it's not possible. But then when you actually you can never tell. My point was, you can never tell what's going to be funny.
Do you find your best materials more spur of the moment things, or do you go around and when you hear something funny, you write it down? Or
both.
Both.
I mean, I definitely we call it theft of material.
Does the audience know the difference? Like something that's off the top of your head, improv? Or
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think you can. There's a sense of an improvisation that you can tell. There's a sense you can get when people are really there in the moment and just kind of playing around and making things up. I mean, I think.
Hecklers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, and for example, when we ask for a suggestion, you can pretty much figure it.
Well, all you out there, keep smiling during this commercial break, and we'll be right back with more of Teenage and Aaron Freeman.
For my birthday, I asked for a pair of lavender pumps.
Purple shoes.
What does she give me?
A U.S. savings
It
bond.
was so embarrassing.
This is the thanks I get for giving her something that will keep on earning interest long after those pumps have gone out of style.
But then I talked to Elaine.
Elaine's mom gave her a savings bond, too.
She said in a few years we can use these bonds for lots of stuff, like a down payment on a house, even a car.
I've always liked Elaine.
So from now on, all I want are savings bonds. Think of all the shoes we'll be able to buy.
Hi, we're back. Welcome back, Teenage. We're still talking about comedy with comedian and humorist Aaron Freeman. So let's talk a little bit about what are the different types of comedy that makes us laugh.
I have no idea. I mean, there's the comedy that makes you. I mean, everything that makes you laugh is comedy. I suppose there are people who might draw distinctions, I guess, between stand-up comedy, sitcoms, even within that, there's. I don't know, slapstick comedy, mime, but this is all nonsense. I mean, all it matters, because there's not anybody here who does, people who go to see a comedy show, for example, they just want to laugh. They don't really care. I mean, I do, like, for example, I've been known for doing lots of political kinds of things, but it doesn't matter. I mean, nobody cares, but no one actually cares about my politics. They only care that I can make them laugh. And if I couldn't make them laugh, I could be saying the most brilliant political insights on the face of the planet. If they ain't laughing, they don't care. So I don't think, as far as I've seen, all that matters is making them laugh. It's a really zero-sum kind of game.
And we've all
is
seen
delivery important? I mean, have you ever seen someone steal someone else's material and it just doesn't work for them? Like the delivery of the joke?
Yeah. I mean, I think it has more to do with the heart of the joke. I mean, I think that I mean, delivery, because for example, if you ever listen to Will Rogers, who I think is generally considered to be a pretty funny guy, in strict kind of mechanical terms, what I know about timing, he was terrible. I mean, his jokes were not well timed. He didn't have a punchy kind of. He certainly would never have done well on the Letterman show, or the Tonight Show. He would not have done well because he did not have that kind of He's much more laconic, and he kind of mumbled and didn't have good timing by what you or I would think was good timing. But he was Will Rogers, and he just had a thing that worked for him. And I think that it's very individual. Just as what makes somebody laugh is very individual. What makes you laugh might not make me laugh. Although we all laugh at like pee-pee jokes. It's true. It's the one constant I know. Everybody laughs at those.
Going along with the delivery, do you think being a comedian is a natural born thing that you had to have, or is it something that you learn off the bat? Because would I go to a comedy school to learn how to laugh, or am I supposed to have something already in me that makes me a good comedian? Or
there are those who believe that there are only two things that are set in stone in life, and it's the day you're born and the day you're supposed to die. And everything, and I tend to believe that everything else is you're on your own with, is malleable. And so, as far as I know, I think certainly the kind of stuff that I was weaned at Second City, and I learned about improv comedy. Any idiot can do that. Anybody can do improv comedy, no matter who you are. I have seen senior citizens, cops, lawyers, anybody can do this stuff. So, at Second City, people would come there and they say, gee, I don't know, am I funny? And Del would say, you're a human being, you're hysterical. Or the other one is, you're not funny, life is funny. So yeah, anybody can do this. Anybody can be funny. Everybody is funny. And I think some people are better than others, in terms of those things that make you a good professional. I mean, I have a reasonably effervescent personality, and I have a reasonably good voice, and I've kind of learned some little tricks that make it easier to function as a professional comedian. But I'm definitely not the funniest person I know. I mean, there are definitely people like in my family who are much funnier. They might not, be able to get up on the stage and do it, but they're much funnier.
Now, you said you do a lot of political jokes and things like that. Do you
I've been
think
known to do
that, these people that a lot of people make fun of, do you think that they get hurt by all the jokes that go
Absolutely
around
not.
about
As a matter of fact, I used to have guys, when I used to make jokes about the city council, all of them would come up to me, hey, you always talk about Verdolac, why don't you talk about me? I'm bad. Hey, I'm a bad guy. Come on now. No, politicians, they don't, they just want attention, you're mean to them, they like it, you're nice to them, they like it, they don't care. They just want you to notice them.
Have you ever personally been offended by a joke?
I'm very much offended by some. There are certainly comedians around now who I find grossly offensive and hideous.
Like introduce Clay.
I try not to mention certain names on television because I don't think those people deserve to get any more press than they got.
But why?
But I am greatly offended.
But why exactly do they offend you? Due to the ethnic slurs or women jokes?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say, both of those things. I don't find that offensive. I find that offensive when people who are on the in make fun of big people make fun of little people. People who are comfortable and wealthy make fun of people who are struggling and vulnerable. I don't find that funny. I think it's I think it's hateful, and I think it makes it's real easy to pick on people who are
condescending.
Why do we think
more trouble than you?
Why do we think that's so funny? Like when we make fun of different races or people like that.
Well, now that's different. Lord knows. Well, we can know because it's strangers. I mean, it's what's the funniest stuff is out there in the void. I mean, what am I saying? Like every culture, matter of fact, this is a whole little bit, but every culture has jokes about somebody else. I mean, in South Africa, the English-speaking South Africans make jokes about the Afrikaner-speaking South Africans.
In France, they make fun of Belgians.
Yes, right. I mean, everywhere they make fun of the Irish. So yeah, it's there's a kind of a general. We tend to like and be more comfortable with people who look like us. And then once people who don't look like us, there's a tension in our relationship, and wherever there is tension, you can get humor out of it.
Do you think comedy tends to bring down that tension a little bit?
Well, comedy kind of points at it. Comedy kind of jumps into the tension, goes, and then it kind of, there's tension. And then you kind of relax a little bit. You kind of relax. And
it lightens up the
sometimes, but again, it depends on the spirit. I mean, for example, the aforementioned horrible comedian, I don't know that he, makes the tensions between men and women or races I don't think he brings any insights to it. But comedy can do that. Matter of fact, for example, there was a letter that Henny Youngman wrote to this comedian, Andrew Clay, and he said, if you want to do ethnic stuff, you can bring us together. He says, a Jewish guy marries an Indian girl. They want to give the child a name that both families would like. They call the kid Whitefish. Another vote against that schmuck comedian. But you know, because you can. I mean, the great thing, my favorite comedians, and my two favorite comedians on earth, Whoopi Goldberg and so what?
Steve Martin?
No, Charles Dickens. Because they're these really, really funny people, but they do not. They use their comedy in the service of empathy, compassion, decency. You know, because I mean, because that's a really great thing. I mean, they you know, because all of Dickens' stories are all about, you know, just, you know, people being kind to each other, and, you know, and about just the kind of basic values of goodness and decency and empathy and civility. That's what you should use comedy for. I mean, you can use it to go and beat up women and express your own personal neuroses, you know, or you can try to use it to, you know, to make the world a better place. And I think you do that. I think that you have an impact on the world no matter what you're doing, you know, and if you own that impact, and you can actually use whatever skills you have, be it comedy or anything else, to make the world a better place.
All right, and on that, we're going to cut to commercial. Stay tuned.
Whatever your problem, however you feel, wherever you are, we're there for you. The Boys Town National Hotline, 1-800-448-3000. There's no charge, and you can call anytime. The Boys Town National Hotline, 1-800-448-3000.
Hi, we're back. We've been talking about some comedy. Now let's look we took some of our gang here out to the Laugh Factory in Aurora, Naperville. Let's see what they had to offer.
If you're 17 and older and looking for something fun to do, come to the Laugh Factory in Aurora. Saturday at 6:30 is a teen show. Tonight's headliner is Frankie Pace. Hey, get no respect, you know what I mean?
You think this is a little too much lipstick? Mercy, why you looking to your face? Pizza. It's that bionic man punched in the eye, right? Robocop punched in the eye. You okay? I'm okay. A young Italian couple just getting married. Louise, did you cook this spaghetti? I mean, are you supposed to put it in a pot of water? Doc, I can't pay my bill. So, you want to see the wizard, eh? Oh, it's Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy. Honey, what do you really think of me? You're a pig. The first man sneezing in space.
Hi, this is Jason Lano, and we're here at the Laugh Factory just after the show, and we're here with
Laura.
and
Jen.
and how old are you?
16.
So tell us, how did you like the show?
I thought it was great. It's a good idea for us teens to come here on the Saturday nights. I thought it was great. I was laughing so hard sometimes. It was really funny.
Do you guys come here regularly?
No, this is my first time.
First time? You think you're gonna come back?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
All right, so there we have it, straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Hi, here we are in the Aurora Laugh Factory in the green room of the plush palatial restaurant / comedy club with comedian Frankie Pace. I'd like to start.
Green. The room is not green.
Well, if you think of it.
This is great.
That's pretty.
There's nothing wrong with my fan.
I really like
3 weeks. I'm getting out. Demetrius, it's me, King of the Gladiators. I don't know what to sing this song.
I really like your act, Frankie.
You do? You love my...
I liked it a lot.
I love myself, you know.
How did you get started?
I don't know. I was a plumber before this, and then before I knew it, I was... I actually started a little club in Massapequa, Long Island. Little black kid named Eddie Murphy was working with us. And back in 1979, actually.
Wow. How old were you back then?
I was just a kid. Those were my early years, you know. Puberty. Had no hair then. Just a young kid.
What do you love so much about this comedy?
What I love about it is that you work 1 hour a day, and you get paid for this.
Well, you said in your show that a lot of your friends are doctors and they went to college for all that.
All my friends.
And you're doing what you like.
Yeah, and I do this for a living. I make the same money. It's great. It's great.
Where do you?
You should know I'm doing this. That's right. I act like an idiot.
Where do you? Tonight was like a teen showing.
Yeah, I did a clean show tonight.
Where do you draw the line on some of that?
What do I draw the line?
Yeah. Right down the middle, huh?
Yeah, I draw it when I see kids in the audience, and then for the adults, I get a little bit out of hand. I tend to be a bit of a jackass.
Do you think some comedy should be more censored?
No, I think comedy is. I don't think it should be censored. I think you need people like Dice Clay, for the simple reason that that's freedom of speech. There's all different types of comedy. There's prop comedy. There's monologists. There are the guys that do political humor. There's guys that do screaming stuff like Sam Kinison. And you need a wide variety. You need a variety because, you know, they love mediocrity in this country because you can rule mediocrity, say, but you can't rule the rebels. Like we're rebels because we go to the other end, you know. So.
How would you describe what you do up on stage? Stand-up, like acting? Or?
I think I'm an actor. I'm more of an actor that... because I do a lot of visual body language up there. I'm more like a Richard Pryor, Jonathan Winters type, Cosby type of character. Yeah. Everybody is a derivative. You should always find the star that you like and try to become one of his class, one of his students. Not copy him. I don't copy Pryor, but I watch a lot of them. But I do Frankie Pace and the Pryor School. But I don't do Pryor, you know. And I suggest comics that are doing that if you're going into the business, you know, to find out who you like and try to emulate that person as yourself.
Who do you like?
I love Pryor. I love Pryor. I love Winters, and I love Cosby.
All right.
I love Carlin, George Carlin. I love myself. I love Sidney, but he's at the beach today.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming out.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Thank you so much.
My colleagues, you notice how they write, you know. So this is it's the green room, but it's white, and we needed a white wall so we can put all this stuff on.
All right, thanks a lot for coming out.
Thank you.
Frankie Pace. Pace.
Pace. Pace.
Pick up the pace.
Pace. Oh, that's great. Hi, Sid. It's Charlie's Angels.
Well, that was some wacky, wild stuff, wasn't it? We'd like to thank the Laugh Factory out in Aurora for having us, and Aaron Freeman. Could you tell us?
Yes.
I know it's a real cliche question, but one has to be answered. Do you have any advice for aspiring comedians out there just getting started?
Advice for aspiring comedians? I thought what Pace said was pretty good. You know, I mean, find people you like and emulate them. You know, that's a cool thing to do. But I guess, you know, you just if you whatever with comedy or anything else, if you want to do it, you could actually just do it and don't worry about, you know, like don't worry about it. Like you have to do a lot of bad. You have to die a lot.
Who are your role models though? Did you have any like favorite comedian?
Oh, I mean, you know, like we all grew up with Cosby a lot. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Cosby is a role model. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg definitely inspired me a lot. Whoopi Goldberg, I'm a big fan of hers. Richard Pryor, I think is really, really way cool. So yeah, those would be my you know.
What does Whoopi do that you like so much?
Did you see? Well, did you see her show? Her show on Broadway.
Oh, I didn't.
It was her show on Broadway that really. I mean, she started out with the first bit was about a street thief, petty thief who stole some digital fondue forks and hocked them and flew to Amsterdam and went up in the room where Anne Frank was. And it was, I mean, it was just, and then like she does a bit about, you know, within the context of that about like young Germans talking about how angry they get being accused of World War II all the time. And it was just so empathetic. You know, and it was, what was cool about it was like I was saying, that there's this wonderful comedian who was not out here trying to like make you think she should be on Saturday Night Live. She was out here really to try to, you know, show you that there are ways for people to relate to each other and understand each other more efficiently. And I admire people who use their comic skills in the service of things that I like decency and empathy. And
I kind of respect that too, because in a way it makes me view life and life's experiences from a different angle.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
not everything
right.
is bad and not
Right.
everything is perfectly good. So it's easier to laugh at something, you know, and it's easier to relate to it.
That's all purpose of comedy.
So do you feel that comedy should have a meaning to it?
No, I mean I do what I do. You know, I have my own personal ministry, my like version of the comic art that I do, and I think everybody ought to do their own do that which you know you have to follow the path with the heart. You know, and everybody's path, you know, everybody's heart is on a different kind of path, and I do what I do. You know, I admire people who do a thing that I want to do. But no, I think, and I certainly think that I'm glad that we have room for, you know, Andrew Dice Clay and Sam Kinnis and all the people who I really find that I don't like. I mean, I'm glad that it's, you know, a big smorgasbord out there because there's people who like that, and I like diversity, and you know.
Because it's all in the opinion.
Yeah.
It's all in the opinion.
Everything going around.
Yeah. I mean, I like this diversity stuff. It's a good racket. This humanity thing is a good racket. You know what I'm saying?
Do you find that a lot of comedians need gimmicks, so to speak? I mean,
no, I mean gimmicks work. I mean, a lot of people in show business, gimmicks work in show business. You know, if you got like, you know, giant breasts or, you know, you know. I mean, I'm saying, but these are just gimmicks. If everybody uses them, I mean, a lot of people use them, and you know, and it just depends on whether or not you happen to like gimmicks. You know, if there's a gimmick that you like. No, I think that so there's some people who use them, yeah, but I think that everybody just does whatever. You know, they follow their own path. You know, and some people, your path will take you to use a ventriloquial dummy. You know, and that's what some people will use, and that's what they'll relate to that, and that'll work well for them. And that's, you know, me, I like topical things work well for me. Other people, I know very good, funny comics who hate reading newspapers because, you know, and it makes them too depressed. You know,
Like me.
yeah, and so it's just, you know, everybody's got their own path, and I really, you know, all those paths are good, and all things are Buddha things, as they say.
So you think that there's definitely a career out there, and
Yes.
I would like to thank our guest today, Aaron Freeman, who you can see at 11:30 p.m. on the Talking with Aaron Freeman show, Channel 50, WPWR in Chicago. Also, creator and co-star
With
of
Rob Colson
of the play Do the White Thing, which is presently being shown at the Steppenwolf North Theater in Chicago.
Well done.
Thank you. Then thank you, and keep smiling. Bye-bye now.
Bye.